Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Santa Anita Park here on Saturday. It is September the 29th, 2018. I'm going to look at all the stakes races on today's program from the Big Race Place, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kit 5 for more selections for race courses around the world. Great card of Breeders' Cup prep races from Santa Anita. I'm going to look at all the stakes races 6, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So races 6, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So let's get on to it. The sixth race from Santa Anita. It's the American Pharoah Stakes, Grade 1 purse $300,000. This race is for 2-year-olds here. Field of 5 horses going the distance of ground of 1,700 meters, with a distance of ground of 1 mile and 1/16th on the Santa Anita main track. 1,700 meters, a mile 16th main track. And I show the diagram. It just gives me a second to look down at my notes. Just bear with me. Sorry, I'm stupid. I can't do two things at the same time. My top selection here in the inaugural, well, not inaugural, it's inaugural in name, the American Pharoah Stakes. Last year it was called the front runner for the last few seasons, but originally this race was known as the Norfolk when the Oak Tree Association ran their meeting here at Santa Anita in the fall, but it hasn't been called the Norfolk since 2010, something like that, when I think the last time they ran at Hollywood Park, the Oak Tree meeting, and that was the last time they ran this race as the Norfolk. But they named the race after a good horse here, American Pharoah. My top selection here, I like the 4-horse game winner. Gonna go 4-3-1 in the tri-cast of the trifecta. 4-3-1 tri-cast trifecta. Top selection of 4-horse game winner. 2-year-old colt by Candy Ride. Joel Rosario gets them out for Bob Baffert and Gary and Mary West. The horse's most recent outing came at Del Mar, 7 furlongs to 3rd of September in the Grade 1 Del Mar Futurity. This horse upset a tiny bit. He won by 1 1/4 lengths. Bob Baffert had a few in there, and they were all looking at Roadster, but the other Bob Baffert ran well. This one, game winner, he won by 1 1/4 lengths. He sat back early after a quick pace in front of him, got the lead, and he had a very nice victory there. I think the longer this horse goes, the better he's going to get. The 2 turns for the first time, he should really do well with it. But before the Del Mar Futurity, this horse ran at Del Mar again, 6 furlongs, August the 18th, and main special weight 61,000. Horse won by 5 3/4 lengths. Sat back a tiny bit early on after breaking on top, but then he got the lead, and then he just took off clear. A very easy victory there. One of the most impressive races of the summer from Del Mar, I think. But he won for fun there. Since the Futurity, this horse has been training locally here at Santa Anita. Most recent workout, 24th of September, 4 furlongs and 47-2. The best workout, 63. And then the 18th of September, 5-furlong workout in 58-4, the best workout 32. So I think he's rearing to go. He's had 3 workouts since Futurity. All 3 of them have been very fast. I like him a lot here. 6-5, single in the multi race. I don't think any of the big multi races connect with this race, because the pick 6 begins with the next race, and the pick 5 begins with the race afterwards, and the pick 5 and pick 4 end with race 5. So no big stakes race, pick and multi-race goes into this race, but you can play a double in pick 3. But to recap my selections for the 6 now from Santa Anita, it's the Grade 1 American Pharoah Stakes. Gonna go with the 4-horse game winner. Gonna go 4-3-1 in the tri-cast of the trifecta. So now let's get on to race number 9. Race number 9 from Santa Anita. It's the Chandelier Stakes, Grade 1 purse $300,000. This race is for fillies 2-year-olds here. Field of 6 horses going the distance of ground of 1,700 meters, or the distance of ground of 1 mile and 1/16th on the Santa Anita main track. Mile 16th, 1,700 meters. When you're in, I believe, for the juvenile filly start. Top selection here, I like the 6-horse Bellafina. No, she's the favorite, but she should really run well. Gonna go 6-1-4-2 in the superfecta. 6-1-4-2 super. Top selection, the 6-horse Bellafina. 2-year-old filly by Quality Road. Flavion Pratt gets the leg up for Simon Callahan. Blinkers off today. Had blinkers the last 2 outings, but his most recent outing came the 1st of September at Del Mar. 7 furlongs in the Grade 1 Del Mar debutante. The horse won by 4 1/4 lengths there. Stalked early on, got the lead, drifting a little bit at the end, but she won for fun. A very good race there, being Mother, who finished second and is actually running back in this one today. But this horse, she ran well there. Before that, in the Grade 2 Sorrento at Del Mar, 6 furlongs, August the 5th. The horse won by 4 1/4 lengths there, getting her maiden victory on lead all throughout, and she had just a very easy race there in 1:10-3. Good run there. And then the 4th of July at Los Al, 5 furlongs and main special weight for 40,000. She finished second by 1 1/4 lengths. She broke okay there, but then she in the stretch run she just couldn't catch the one in front of her. Just ran a little bit better. But just to keep in mind, Flavian Pratt wasn't running a lot at Losal during the summer meeting, and he only came. I believe this was only one of like two horses he rode during that meeting, so he has high thoughts on this horse. Getting blinkers off today, has been training well since the debutante. I just think she's going to run a big one, 9-5, single in the multi-race. The pick 4 begins with this race, so watch out. So to recap my selections for the 9th from Santa Anita, it's the grade 1 Chandelier, going to go with the 6 horse Bellafina, going to go 6-1-4-2 in the superfecta. So now let's get on to race number 10 from Santa Anita. It's the Rodeo Drive Stakes, grade 1, purse $300,000. This race is for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upwards. Field of 8 horses going the distance of ground here of 2,000 meters, if you want to go by that, or the distance of ground of 1 mile and 1/4 on the Santa Anita turf course. Mile and a quarter, 2,000 meters, turf course, rails at 0 feet. Used to be called the Yellow Ribbon Stakes years ago before Santa Anita took over the fall meeting from Oak Tree. But my top selection here, I like the 8 horse here, the 8 horse Cambodia. Gonna go 8-4-7-6 in the superfecta. 8-4-7-6 super. Top selection, the 8 horse Cambodia. 6-year-old mare by Warfront. Drain Van Dyke picks up the mount for Tom Proctor. The horse's most recent outing came the 1st of September at Del Mar. Mile and 8th in the J.C. Maccabee Stakes. The horse finished 2nd by 1.5 lengths. If this horse had a better trip, she could have won, but she had a great final quarter of a mile, but before that she was very troubled. Coming here to Santa Anita, a little better race course for her to run on. I think she'll do well in her debut here. Before that at Del Mar, mile 16th in the Yellow Ribbon Handicap, the race that with which the name of this race used to be. Can't speak. But the Yellow Ribbon at Del Mar, the horse won by 2.5 lengths, sat back early from a wide posture, and then took off clear. She was a little bit wide, but she ran well there. And then before that, Belmont, 1 mile in the Just a Game. So horse finished 7th by 2 lengths, very wide, and she just didn't show up there. And then at Keeneland, a mile 16th in the grade 1 Jenny Wiley, she finished 6th by 4.25 lengths. Again, very wide, and she just never showed up off the break. But she does her best running in Southern California with the firm turf course. She's going to probably see a firm turf course today, and I think she'll run well. She ran, looking at her races last fall, she ran 4th in the Matriarch, 3rd in Breers Cup Filly Mare Turf at Del Mar. She was the best finisher that day of any of the Europeans and out of any of the Americans in that race, because the Europeans finished 1-2, but she ran well. And then before that, in the J.C. Maccabee at Del Mar last summer, she won. She won the Yellow Ribbon last year, and then she ran at Parks where she finished 3rd, and she won the Galaretta at Pimlico very nicely. But like I said, she does her best racing here in Southern California. 9-5, getting a mile and a quarter for the first time. I think she'll run well. Watch out for her here today. And a multi-race ticket now. In the pick 4 that begins off for race number 9, I'm going to go 8-4, 8-4-7 here. I'll go 3 deep. So to recap my selections for the 10th from Santa Anita, it's grade 1 Rodeo Drive. Going to go with the 8 horse Cambodia as a top selection. I'm going to go 8-4-7-6 in the superfecta, 8-4-7 in the multi-race. So now let's get on to race number. The 11th race from Santa Anita, it's the feature race of the afternoon. It's the Awesome Again Stakes, grade 1, purse $300,000. This race is for 3-year-olds and upwards. Field of 6 horses going the distance of ground of 1,800 meters with a distance of ground of 1 mile and 1/8 on the Santa Anita main track. 1,800, a mile and 1/8. Top selection, the Awesome Again. I'm going to go with the number... Where are we? I'm going to go with the number 5 horse, West Coast. I'm going to go 5-3-6-2 in the superfecta, 5-3-6-2 super. Top selection, 5 horse, West Coast. 4-year-old colt by Flatter here. Mike Smith picks up the mount for Bob Baffert. This horse hasn't been seen since the 31st of March. He started in the Middle East at Maidan in Dubai. Mile and a quarter in the Dubai World Cup. He finished 2nd by 5 3/4 lengths. He had the best finish of all the Americans that day, but this horse just couldn't catch Thunder Snow, who ran a hell of a race on the front end. The track was playing for a conveyor belt of speed, and this horse just wasn't catching him. It just wasn't the day to win. Before that, in the Pegasus World Cup at Gulfstream, mile 8th, January 27th, horse finished 2nd by 2.5 lengths. Again, Gunrunner ran much the best race on the front end. This horse was just 2nd best, couldn't catch him. And then the Breers Cup Classic at Del Mar, mile and a quarter, November the 4th, horse finished 3rd by 3.5 lengths. Again, sat 3rd most of the race and just kind of hung. He never got the good kick. But his last victory, he won the PA Derby very nicely at Parks last fall, winning by 7 1/4 lengths. Before that, won the Travers impressively by 3.5 lengths, and won the Los Al Derby again impressively. Not as impressive as the last of the two races afterwards, but he still won for fun. He's back at the home base where he's 3-2. He's been training well, and I just think he'll really run a big one. I'm not a big fan of Accelerate. I just think he's been facing some lesser quality horses here in Southern California. Not to knock the division, but he doesn't really. He runs well, but they're against nobodies. I think West Coast is a lot better horse than Accelerate, and I think he could really get the jump on him today. 7-5, I'm singling West Coast in the pick 4. So to recap my selections for the 11th from Santa Anita, it's grade 1, Awesome again. Gonna go with the 5-horse West Coast as a top selection. Gonna go 5-3-6-2 in the superfecta, single the 5-horse in the pick 4. So now let's get on to race number. The Nightcap from Santa Anita, the 12th race. It's the Unzip Me Stakes per $75,000. This race is for fillies 3-year-olds here. Field of 14 horses. The 13 and 14 are both also eligible, so actually 12 could only go on the turf course. The distance of ground of about 1,300 meters, or about 6 1/2 furlongs down the hillside turf course. About 1,300 meters, about 6.5. Final leg of the pick 4 here. My top selection in this wide open race, I like the 7-horse Pursuing the Dream. Gonna go 7-5-9-10 in the superfecta. 7-5-9-10 super. Top selection of 7-horse Pursuing the Dream. 3-year-old filly by Dream Ahead. Gary Stevens gets the mount for James Cassidy. The horse's most recent outing came the 2nd of September at Del Mar. A mile 16th and optional 80 claimer. The horse finished 7th by 7 1/4 lengths. He just had nothing, no quickening up. It wasn't the day to win. He should really improve there, but he didn't. Before that, Del Mar, 1 mile in the grade 2 San Clemente, horse had a trouble trip. He finished 13th by 9 1/4 lengths, very wide, and trouble trip, a lot of traffic. It wasn't the day to win. And then the 1st of June back here at Santa Anita, 1 mile and off 75 claimer. Horse ran a very good 3rd place, finished by 1.5 lengths, closing up well. He didn't run half bad. And then the grade 3 Senorita at Santa Anita, 1 mile May the 5th. Horse finished 2nd by 1/4 lengths. Sat 2nd most race, but ran well. Has started down the hillside in the past. 30th of March, first start stateside actually, 6.5 and off 75 claimer. Horse finished 4th by 3/4 length. Stalked, dueled early on, and then got overtaken, but fought back at the end to get 4th in an all-out finish. She ran her heart out there. She's looking at her running lines. She sits towards the front here, and if she could sit not on the pace, but just stalking, I think she'll really do well. 15-1, Gary Stevens up. I'll take my chances in, like I said, a very wide open race. In the multi-race, I'm going to go 4 deep. I'm going to use all the 4 horses I have in my superfecta. But to recap my selections now for the 12th from Santa Anita, it's the Unzip Me Stakes. Going to go as a top selection, the 7-horse Pursuing the Dream. Going to go 7-5-9-10 in the superfecta. I'll go 7-5-9-10 in the pick 4. So good luck to all, and please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5. Good luck.